I think you're live now, right?
Yeah, it is live now. So I remember one time, Prabhu, like you were saying that practically everyone in ISKCON is a disciple of Prabhupada because ISKCON is the body of Srila Prabhupada. So can you
Yes.
understand? So yeah, so I have the question on the same thing. So in one of the conversations, like Prabhupada was saying,
Not just a question, but make statements based on your realization too, because this is an istagosti, not just
yeah,
questions. You can make your statement, but then you have to be willing to have your statement scrutinized by everybody.
yes, Prabhu. So I'm making that same statement that uh, that's a statement because in one of the conversation I heard Srila Prabhupada speaking that they will be disciples of my disciples, and also if some person is not accepting Prabhupada as Param Guru and one of his disciple as his guru, then I think they will be disciples of the disciple of Prabhupada because they are not accepting Prabhupada as their guru.
Yes, but I mean, having said that, if they have, you see, but now we're trying to, we're sort of putting Prabhupada and that guru and that devotee into boxes, individual boxes. And we're talking about here and now in 2022. What if we back it up a little bit and say, if he considers his guru to be Prabhupada's disciple, and he accepts his guru, and then he accepts that Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, how does that work?
Well, that's no, I wanted to discuss on that point that
exactly
that previously was discussed in Ishta Goshti that you were saying that everyone in this movement is a disciple of Prabhupada because this movement is the body of Prabhupada. So
yeah,
that
you don't even have to say disciple of Prabhupada. Everyone in this movement is being enlightened by Prabhupada, not as guru, but as the Acharya, the self-effulgent Acharya.
Ronald Singh joined.
Jai, Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Excellent.
So yeah, so practically for those in the movement who are considering Prabhupada to be as their guru, for them Prabhupada is their guru, not for other people who are not accepting him as their guru.
Well, I recommend that we avoid using the term guru, because the term guru has come to mean dictator or king or police chief. You know, guru is people want to be guru because it gives them absolute power, right?
A distinction.
Beyond distinction, it gives them, is that you cannot have God unless you come to me. I will give you God, and you can't get God anywhere else. You can't have Krishna from any other source but me, because I'm guru. So why don't we just say, stop using the word guru and say Prabhupada is the self-effulgent Acharya. Now, there's no point at which he stops being self-effulgent or Acharya. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Yes, never. He stops being self-effulgent Acharya.
Even if you back away from Prabhupada being a mystical presence in the temple, once the ISKCON gurus are no longer there, if Prabhupada is the mystical spiritual presence in the temple, sort of like a statue of Buddha or something of that sort, who is a jiva but worshipped as God, you know. So, as good as God. So the so if he's a self-effulgent Acharya, is there a point where he stops being self-effulgent?
Never.
See, and we have a backup position, Because you don't believe he personally is self-effulgent? Well, then read his books. He even said, I will present in my book, you will read and utilize. I am present in my books. So if you want the actual spiritual presence of the pure devotee Acharya, read his books. And when you, in between reading books, you can look at his murti and say, that murti is glowing on the Vyasa sun. That murti is glowing. Prabhupada is in that murti glowing, just as he's in his books glowing, you know. He's enlightening us through his books. He made that clear. It's not just that he wrote books, but that's what the GBC has tried to do, is try to pin Prabhupada down to being time and place only. So go ahead, then I continue.
Yeah, so just wanted to ask this thing because because
Well,
if they are not accepting,
can we drop the term guru altogether?
yeah, we can drop that term, but if they are not accepting him as their like acharya because they are moving away from him, practically they are themselves accepting that thing, because even if they are hearing audio lectures, they are hearing some of them of their disciples of these
Who
things.
do they think Prabhupada is?
Yeah, the founder acharya who founded the institution and gave books.
Okay, but the books are not just dead books. Like you go to a library, it's full of shelves with dead books in it. These books are full of transcendental life, spiritual life,
Mm.
right? So if he's in his books, is he not spiritually present if he's present in his books?
Yeah, he is present.
Well, is he or he isn't? Either he is or is not.
Yeah, he is present.
He is
Yeah,
present.
but you could say that about anyone who writes a book, even some guy that died a long time ago, like Charles Dickens or something like that. Is he present in his books? Well, if you read his books, you'll find a lot of his psychic energy is in the pages of the books. His feelings, his emotions, his thoughts are there. And that's just ordinary topic matter, ordinary topics, not spiritual, transcendental topics. So, I mean, everybody's present in their books to a degree. But when you're talking about spiritual books, that means if you read them, you can be completely enlightened. And somebody was saying to Prabhupada, well, Prabhupada, this is when he was still on the planet, and wasn't anticipating that he wouldn't be, said, well, if I'm here in England and you're in Germany, when you're here in England and I'm reading the book, I can come and ask you a question. What does that mean? But when you're in some other place, maybe Germany, and I read that same passage and I can't ask you, what does it mean? What do I do? How do I understand it? And Prabhupada said, you read it again. You keep reading. Everything is all self-explanatory in his writing. So if you don't understand it the first time around, instead of grabbing Prabhupada and asking him a question, oh, Prabhupada, can you answer a question? You'll say yes, because that's merciful. But supposing you don't say yes, supposing you just say, if I don't understand it, I'll go back and read it again. Who's on?
Vinayak, but he's already in the room, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I saw him for a brief moment.
Okay, so yes, Narayan, go ahead.
So if Prabhupada is fully present in his books, then what does the guru that the guy wants to take offer him that he can't get straight from Prabhupada? That's a question to ask the person. What do you want that you can't get from Prabhupada? What's he going to say?
Okay, Mohit is in the house.
Jai Mohit.
Same thing, like being
Hare
a part
Krishna,
of a
Hari Bol,
organization or the
Hari Bol, Hari
society.
Bol,
Haribol. Yes.
Hari Bol, Mohit.
So what can you get from your friend? He wants a guru and he wants Prabhupada too. Prabhupada's founder Acharya and he wants the guru. Fine. What is he going to get from his guru that he doesn't get from Prabhupada?
Yeah,
But
just
they
being
can't.
a part of being the part of organization, being able to do things in organization,
I
or
can't hear you.
like a,
I can't hear.
He's saying
the same thing. Yeah, please explain, Prabhu.
Well, what
being
does
part of
okay,
an
Ramachandra
organization.
and I've been having this conversation forever, and we never have come anywhere close to an answer to the question.
Yeah.
And that is, what does the ISKCON guru offer the disciple that he can't get by reading Prabhupada's books or worshiping Prabhupada as the Acharya?
Vinayak, you were going to say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just he offers us being a part of an organization, holding positions, and doing activities with a new name.
I couldn't understand. Rupa, could you translate for me?
I didn't hear either.
Ramchandra Prabhu, can you translate?
He's saying being part of an organization, basically, the GBC of West Bengal, you become a part of their organization, and you can, I guess, you get some position, and then where you can, I don't know what good that is, but
Well, let's ask. If you, supposing you do that, you get a position, and then you're at the moment of death, then what's your position?
yeah.
Right.
So,
right. I mean,
yeah.
so doesn't it sound like that's this person wants to have the ISKCON guru so that he can join a religion in which he can then have a significant part for prestige,
so
adoration, distinction, money,
profit.
profit, adoration, distinction. He can cash in on his being his guru's disciple.
Yeah, so that's the only part in this discussion which
Okay,
seems
so what's the other
reasonable
part?
from the point.
What does he
Yeah.
get from the? Again, we're back to what does the new disciple? You sound as though he must be a Hindu, actually. But what does the new disciple, which is fine, but what does the new disciple get from his ISKCON guru that he can't get from Prabhupada?
Yeah, basically, in broad sense, basically nothing.
He
So
said
you're
in broad
saying,
sense, absolutely nothing.
well, yeah, absolutely nothing. Yes, in reality,
Yeah.
spiritually nothing, but in terms of religion, well, I'm the treasurer, and people work, and I collect money from the congregation, and I'm very good at it. And so far, because I'm treasurer, the treasury has tripled, and everyone thinks I'm a great treasurer. That's fine. Now this guy gets to be old, 90 years old, or whatever he gets to be, and he is about to croak. He's become a very good treasurer for the temple that's populated by devotees who belong to the temple, who want it to be like a church. So the treasurer who did all our good work comes to be 90 years old, he's going to die. What has he achieved for himself spiritually by collecting money? Oh, don't get me wrong, he has. Collecting money for Krishna is devotional service. But that's not what I'm talking about. How has he made spiritual advancement for himself by being the treasurer? Or is he simply a functionary in a church, in a religious structure? Isn't that basically what it boils down to? Or does it? I'm not going you to take my word for it. Is Vinayak there? Rupa.
I think he's here. I see him. Yeah, he's here.
Okay, I asked you a question.
He can, yeah. So this, this misconception that has been plaguing the society that you need a living guru and you need some sort of appointment into the church. It's a concocted system by the the Catholic type of mentality, or the Catholic GBC, yeah. So this is very rampant in ISKCON, and everyone is like bamboozled by this whole conception. You know, no one talks about it. No one even really questions the whole thing. You know.
Because they're so used to, if you go to a Protestant church, there's a minister and some people that work around with him, a committee that works with the church, right?
Yeah.
And helps raise money and expands the property,
Right.
hires the sweepers to clean the church, functionaries.
The functionaries, yes.
Yeah. So that's Protestant. Catholics is even more so because it's completely built in for 1,500 years. Or closer maybe to 2,000 years. And then if it's something else like Judaism or Islam, it's the same sort of thing. You're part of the mosque, you're part of the synagogue or the temple, and you function there. But where is the connection with God? The mystical connection with God.
The connection with God. Yeah, that's a question. Let's make a distinction. Connection with God and connection with a institution. Is it the same thing?
Well, the GBC would like to insist that it is.
So if you were to take one thing over the other, they would prefer the institution, right?
Well, right now they do, yes.
Yeah, that's how
Because
they do.
they're not thinking. I just saw a video where, did you know that in New Delhi temple that they created and have installed the world's largest book. And the world's largest book is the Bhagavad Gita as it is. God only knows how many edits are in the Bhagavad Gita that they've published, but put it this way, it's the world's largest Gita. Huge. It weighs 800 pounds.
Yeah,
Are you
Prabhu.
aware of it? You know about it.
Yeah, Haribol. Yeah, Haribol.
Yeah, so I was
It
just
came in
watching
the
a
news
video.
also. Yeah.
Did you see the video?
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
Gopal
Prabhu,
Krishna and Sharma.
And Narendra Modi is there, the Prime Minister of
Modi,
India,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Haribol.
You saw the video?
Haribol. Yeah, bro.
I just saw I'm halfway through it. Somebody, Ramachandra, sent it to me, formatted for the website, was Robin in Germany. He's creating material to put on the website. And Rupa Manjari is going to start discussing with the webmaster how to start using that material. Basically, we have to give the webmaster a scope of what we want to do, and then he can create like a structure to put it in. Other than that, he can just start loading material onto the website and then work with us to rearrange it into something that's sort of intelligible. Something like that. Okay. So anyhow, the biggest Gita, and Narendra Modi was there offering pujas to it. Right. Well,
Yes, Prabhu. I know that, Prabhu. I've seen that video. Narendra Modi gave a speech also. He started with Hare Krishna and then he gave a speech and everything.
So
Yeah,
that's all very good. That's all very good. However, in terms of delivering the fallen souls, this is great for them. They have this big organization, and you saw very many important people. They were totally paka, wouldn't you say? Everything they did was paka. And they even chanted Prabhupada's melody for the kirtan, which I was appreciating. But as you notice, but the thing is, once they go home, what have they got in their temples? It's just a bunch of people straggled around inside the temples. They don't, that wonderful vision that they created was when all the leaders got together and did a very good job putting together a program. But what happens when they go back to their temple? Like Gopal Krishna you can see he's getting a little creaky. He sort of looked a little arthritis. He's bent over a bit. He was guiding Narendra Modi around. And he was an Indian devotee, Gopal Krishna, one of the first sannyasis in the movement. And what's he going to do when he goes back? I know what he's like when he's back. I've been in rooms with him. I've had lunch with him. I've sat and taken prasadam at a table, not on the floor. So it's then ordinary stuff. It's not that gorgeous show. That gorgeous show was great. It's nice. It's going to convince millions of people that Krishna consciousness is for real. But when they come to the temple, what are they going to see? There's a bunch of people straggling around.
Yeah, bro. That's what happens whenever we go to some other ISKCON temples, bro. Specifically worldwide temples. There's all stalls going on and no one is chanting. Nothing has been happening and nothing concrete. Yeah.
So
That's
this
what.
program was Narendra Modi, and it was, I mean, I'm very happy that they did it. And I'm extremely happy that they chanted Prabhupada's melodies, more or less, you know, I mean, it's the melody, but not the tonalities. But let's not complain too much. They chanted Prabhupada's basic melody, which I didn't even think they would do ever again. So somehow they did it. Even though the place was flooded with all sorts of gurus, you could see Radhanath sitting there. There are gurus all over the place in that room. Who would not want to be there? Huh?
Bro, but the real problem is if they come back to the basics, what Prabhupada told, right? That I am the Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru for the next 10,000 years. That's it. If they can accept this, we can go ahead with them, right? All their faults will be gone down. But this Guru, Diksha, and all that.
They would rather die and preferably kill to prevent that from happening.
I mean, I can come there and join and give seva, whatever they want to work for them, do anything if just a simple thing, just a guru issue changes. Right?
No, Ramachandra and I came to the agreement, basically, is like anything else in this negotiation, it's subject to being talked about, subject to being defeated, subject to being discussed. And that is that we should not use the word guru anymore at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not even use the word guru. Prabhupada is the self-effulgent Acharya.
Yeah, the transparent via medium. Yes.
Yeah. Now, is he going to be more than transparent? He's present.
Yes.
No, transparent means you can see through him. But he's transparently revealing Krishna. That's what transparent via medium means. But supposing we just say Prabhupada is fully manifesting Krishna consciousness in his Murti form.
Right.
We don't question the Radha and Krishna on the altar.
Yes, we don't.
We don't say,
marble
they
deeds.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't say, we don't make a claim like that
Yes.
they are just anything. This is Radha, this is Krishna. If you don't accept them as Radha and Krishna, then you've got making a mistake that you have to correct or leave ISKCON, leave the temple. So the same thing should be for Prabhupada. No more word guru, diksha, or shiksha guru. Why do we need it? Because when it comes down to what Prabhupada wanted in the July 9th letter, he wanted what was it called in
Officiating acharyas.
Yeah, officiating acharyas. So the officiating acharyas can be any Brahmin in the temple. Any Brahmin in the temple that's in good standing, that's following the regular principles, he can be an officiating acharya. He can perform weddings.
Vinayak Prabhu, Hari Bol, your mic is on. Hari Bol.
Vinayak, turn off your mic.
Maharaj Ji, Are Prabhu. Thank you very much, Hari Bol.
Okay, so do you like that notion that the Prabhupada is self-effulgent acharya?
But
Yeah,
Prabhu,
you don't have to use the word guru, diksha, or shiksha. That's all cutting into him with a knife.
I got your point, Prabhu. But
Okay.
if someone wants to take Diksha, right? If someone wants to take Diksha in this world, and it
Not a
is
problem. Any
take it
Brahmin
directly
can
from
give him
Prabhupada.
Diksha. Any Brahmin can give him Diksha.
Bro, Diksha means taking someone's karma, right? We have discussed this
Not
much
necessarily.
back.
If suppose you come to an initiating Acharya and you want to become initiated, he performs the Agnihotra ceremony, right?
So in that Agnihotra ceremony, he's taking my karma, right? He's taking my
No,
karma.
it means taking the karma, abovitra, bovitrava, means whether purified or unpurified. This the fire burns up the karma, and if you're a pure devotee like Prabhupada, you will take on the karma out of your compassion. But if you're an ordinary guy, if you take on the karma, you'll fall down, as you've seen.
Exactly.
So why do you want to give your karma to somebody who's going to fall down? That's not even
That's
the worst part. What
That's
happens
what
when
I'm
your
saying,
guru
bro.
dies and then you die? If your guru's taken your karma, you belong to him.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So I'm directly saying this, no, that we should take an Agnihotri ceremony in front of Prabhupada, keeping Prabhupada in front of it. Prabhupada is a Sakshi of it, and then we can take Diksha, right?
That's the
Simple.
Acharya, yes. You can do it in front of Prabhupada,
Simple.
in front of the deity. Because the Agnihotra
Example.
ceremony is for a person to give a vow. You see, the fire sacrifice solidifies the vow of the brahmachari. A guy walks
And
in off
then-
the street with a cigarette in his mouth. 6 months later, he may want to take initiation. He's living a nice life.
And
Krishna
after taking
conscious
Diksha, we can contact disciples like you, right, bro? Those who can guide us. Simple as that, right?
As
Any
simple as
issues,
that.
yeah.
And if nobody is available, then you can read Prabhupada's books.
Exactly. This is the simple issue. If this is cleared, we are clear with ISKCON, right? We can go there, but they're not ready to
Yeah, so-
accept it. Simple.
So when you want to talk to people, when you want to deal with people, Diksha Shiksha Guru, say Prabhupada is the Acharya for the next 1,000 years. You say, but how can he? He died.
He's not dying.
Okay. Is Krishna God for the next 10,000 years? Or did Krishna die also?
Krishna can't die,
Actually-
Prabhu. He's for
Actually,
life.
Krishna died in Vrindavan 5,000 years ago, in India 5,000 years ago, shot in the
That-
foot by 100.
Prabhu, that was a Leela, right? That was not.
Yes, a Leela.
That-
Exactly.
That's a Leela.
No, I'm not saying Krishna died, but I'm trying to say nobody imagines. You see, what we're trying to do is transfer our consciousness from this lifetime in our present body to 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 500 years from now, 5,000 years from now. In other words, we have to create a solution that will work for people that haven't been born yet and won't be born for thousands of years. You see, so the Diksha Shiksha, if people take the initiation from a Brahmin temple, they're actually taking Prabhupada said, ISKCON is my body. Okay. So if Prabhupada says ISKCON is my body, then if you take initiation from ISKCON, doesn't have to be a person, ISKCON, Prabhupada's body. If you take initiation from Prabhupada's body, then you belong to Prabhupada. He becomes your guru. He's your guru. He has taken you on as his disciple. And he expands. He's much bigger. When he was here, he was taking on the karma of people that were committing mad elephant offenses against him while they were busy functioning as devotees, specifically the GBC, molesting children, lawsuits that lost millions of dollars. Why? Because they identified themselves as one corporate ISKCON, therefore that one corporate ISKCON can be sued. And what about the children molesting? Well, is it better to have, if you have an organization, that is top down, like the church, the Catholic Church, and they did the same thing. They protected the priests that were molesting children. It's turned into a multi-billion-dollar settlement with the children that were molested. And quite frankly, it's sort of silly because that's been going on for 1,500 years. If you read the old books by people like Boccaccio, it describes the same thing. Nuns having children, killing them and putting them under the flagstones of the cathedrals. The Pope having children. One of the popes had a daughter, the one that commissioned Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel. Before he went out to battle against his fellow Catholics in Venice or Florence and places like that, he visited his daughter. What the heck does he have a daughter for? He's a celibate pope. Well, anyhow, Julius, I think it was. So, okay, so are we becoming more clear or just more tangled up here? Let's say it be really simple and clear. If a person takes initiation from an officiating Acharya in ISKCON, that person who's initiated becomes the devotee or disciple of Prabhupada. Does that person go out and make others devotees? No. Disciples? No. He goes out and he gets other people to take initiation from Prabhupada in the temple as the Effulgent Acharya. Now, if Krishna didn't die, which was, do we all agree that Krishna doesn't die ever?
Yeah.
Nobody's agreed?
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone's agreeing.
Are you sure? Mohit, you agree?
Mohit agrees to
Krishna-
everything we say.
Oh, sorry, Bo. It's not possible. I'll get killed, Prabhu. I'll
Krishna's
get
not
killed
going to
by.
die. Krishna is not going to die, right?
Yeah.
So if Krishna is alive right now, will Krishna be alive in 10,000 years?
Krishna is alive for Allah and Prabhu for how many universes? How can we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
forever. What to speak of
Forever.
10,000 years, which doesn't
Yeah.
even the snap of the finger in Krishna Loka existence.
Yeah.
Then we have to say, if Prabhupada is the constant associate as an Uttamadhikari, he's in his rasa with Krishna. At what point
Yeah.
is Prabhupada not going to be in his rasa with Krishna? Is there a
Prabhu,
time when
pure devotee is
Prabhupada will...
always pure devotee is always ras with Krishna, Prabhu. From his
Okay,
mind,
so anybody
soul,
that
everything.
talks to you that wants to know the answers to the Diksha Shiksha Guru, tell them Prabhupada is in his rasa with Krishna. He's not going to die. Who told you
Exactly.
that? GVC told you? They also told you that you have to obey them, but they didn't obey Prabhupada. Is that a
Slap of
good
GVC.
foundation for a group, for GVC? That they don't disobey Prabhupada, now you have to obey them? Is that sensible? If you
Prabhupada, they
disobey
don't
your
have any-
master, then I can disobey you. But
Sometimes people don't have any option when they come and give everything to the temple, right? They're scared of this, right? If they go against the GBC and everything, and then what will happen to their lives and all? They don't trust Krishna and Prabhupada, right? They're trusting the temple.
well, I mean, you know,
materially.
obviously, everything depends on sincerity,
Yeah.
honesty. If you come to the temple and give $100,000 and you hate Krishna,
What's the point?
you'll get the
You are
benefit of your donation. But if you hate Krishna, you've got some ways to go before you can really become a devotee.
So first have water, then we can talk, right?
Huh?
Have some water, bro. Haribol.
Oh, it's
Have some water.
unfortunately water doesn't solve it. It's a chest inflammation.
Okay.
I probably should have turned off my microphone.
No issues, bro. No issues. Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's very disgusting.
No issues. Yeah.
So, so can we convince people that want to take initiation from ISKCON gurus What for? What are you going to get that you don't get without taking initiation?
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, of course, the big thing they will say is, I won't be accepted by the GBC if I don't take this guru.
But why should anyone care of being accepted by them? If you're accepted by Krishna and Prabhupada, that's the point. If
That
you're
is the point. But if you want
That
to
is
live
the
in a
point.
temple, you have to obey the GBC.
If you want to live lavishly, the point is this, Prabhu. If you want to live lavishly, luxuriously, and get everything, and then that's the point. If you don't follow we say no. If you don't follow the people, they will get you killed, right? So they are scared of this. Simple as that, bro. So the scariness have to be taken out of people, and they should trust
Yeah,
Prabhupada.
Because they have to
Prabhupada
understand that
and
the
Krishna.
GBC does not have the authority to appoint gurus.
Exactly. Now they're
Once that is
brainwashed, and then
solved,
yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah.
the GBC cannot appoint gurus. Well, does it mean the guru is not qualified? That's a completely different issue. The guru may be or may not be qualified. We know the guru is not qualified because to become on the level of Prabhupada means you have to descend from Krishna Loka. But
We can
it's
guide
not
you,
the
bro.
issue. The qualification of devotees, the guru is not the question. The question is, can you require someone to take initiation from a certain guru, a certain person that they appoint? And the answer is clearly no, you can't.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. I sense that you're a little frustrated or maybe even disappointed. So can you speak in such a way that you feel good, empowered?
Bro, I'm feeling good, only that it's just the job pressure. So my calls are coming and going, so that's why I'm cutting my camera off. No issues from your side. You're superb.
Oh, I
And
see. It's
the knowledge which you're
work-related.
giving is superb, which I know, which is the real truth. And this is what we have in the Goshti, right? We are in the Goshti for this only, right? For discussing such transcendental things, right? So yeah.
Oh, but now we need to figure out how to convince the members of ISKCON who have taken gurus or are thinking of taking gurus. How do we convince them that the GBC has no right to offer them a guru? Where does the GBC get the authority to offer a guru?
Maybe once they get transgender guru is falling down, then maybe the light will turn on. What do you think?
Oh, they'll just take another one. I was there at the beginning. All the gurus were falling down like crazy. They just run off and take initiation from a different guru.
Ramachandra Prabhu, you can become the next Guru, Prabhu. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
Haribol. Yeah, he can become, he has the qualification, Prabhu.
I already have 2 disciples.
Haribol.
And I'm one of them.
No, I was talking
Second
about
one
my
is me.
kids. I was talking about my kids, so I'm like, I don't need any more disciples.
Second one is me. One is in Japan. One is in Japan, right?
What did you? Yes, Narayan Prabhu, you were saying something.
Go ahead, Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, express yourself. I've been going on and on. I was frustrated because we didn't have the
Vinayak
we did a
Prabhu.
whole program and didn't have the recording on, and that's okay. Now it is on. So go ahead, express yourself.
Vinayak Prabhu, you're the third disciple of Ramachandra Prabhu. Please go ahead. We need to listen to you, Prabhu. Haribol, what are your learnings, Prabhu?
Another thing is that if someone is disagreeing with what we're saying here on our Zoom Ishtagoshti meeting, they can certainly participate by presenting their side of what they have read in Prabhupada's books, where so-called gurus are appointed or elected by a board of businessmen. So if we can see it in the scripture, then we can discuss, right?
Yes, but what you're pointing out is that it doesn't exist in the scriptures.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So how are they coming up with a concocted system? that has been running on for 52 plus years now. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, if you scrutinizingly study Prabhupada's conversations, lectures, he actually speaks against this types of voting and appointing, and he really condemns it. But we see here people who are materially motivated, they'll do anything to distort, mislead, and cheat
People
people.
like religion. They're materialistic people that like religion. If they can compromise Krishna consciousness and become religious, they're just as soon do it if they think it's authorized. The whole problem is the people, the donors, the life members, the ones that are initiated, the ones that want to be initiated, the ones in the public that want to know if they want to become devotees or not, they don't know. So it's our job to clarify. The king has no clothes. These guys are criminals. Let's parade them. You know what they used to do with people in America when they called tarred and feather and ridden out of town on a rail. They take a guy, make him naked, put him on a plank, put tar in his body, throw feathers all over his body, and jeering and throwing stones at him, they'd take him out of town and throw him out because they didn't want him anywhere near their families in their town. So that's essentially what we need to do. Expose them, shame them. Not shame them to make them feel ashamed, because they won't. Shame them so the public will see that they should be ashamed and aren't.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our videos are being circulated all over the world. People have not challenged us, nor did they have offered any other solution, which they cannot, obviously. But
yes, so if we keep on declaring that Prabhupada is not dead, if Prabhupada is dead, then Krishna is probably dead as well, and Lord Chaitanya is dead. No, we have to consider Lord Chaitanya is not dead. He's the Yuga avatar for the whole Yuga. Krishna is not dead because he's God. He doesn't die. And Prabhupada's not dead because Prabhupada is Krishna's associate. It's only when we narrowed it down to making Prabhupada a little guy from India that we could fool and trick and cheat and still get his blessing from. That is where the problem lies. And Prabhupada called it a sinister movement within our society. Who is that sinister movement? The GBC. Who did it? He said there's people wearing tilak and wearing the clothes of devotee, that they're not devotees. Prabhupada said that in 1970, before 1970. We didn't know what to make of it because we trusted everybody. If Brahmananda's a devotee, he's a devotee,
Right, yeah. That turned out to be something
Mr. John's
else.
a devotee. Rupa Nuga's a devotee. We just considered whoever's a Jayananda's a devotee. We considered that Narayana's a devotee. That's a big mistake. And then we just said, well, who could it be? These sinister movement. We didn't realize what was going on under our nose when they, as Bhagavan chose to express it, ignored Prabhupada's direction of management. We never saw the direction of management. I did. Rupa Nuga showed it to me in New Vrindavan in 1971. But nobody else saw it until 1980. So nobody knew there was a direction of management. Then when they found out, then they said, oh, Prabhupada changed his mind. It's easy for them to do because they were, by that time, had absolute control. All they had to do is say that, and everybody in all the temples would believe them. So now it's time for all the people in all the temples to no longer believe that. We don't have to condemn them. Just tell them say what they did. They molested children. They wasted money into lawsuits. They murdered Prabhupada, poisoned him to death. You don't have to put a value judgment on it. People will. If they said they poisoned Prabhupada, Do you hate them for it? No. They did what they did. But they poisoned Prabhupada. I hate them for it. Well, that's sensible, isn't it? Because that meant you didn't get to meet Prabhupada. So we have to not judge them or condemn them. We need to expose them. Make it clear. I mean, if we could have prevented, I would have given my life 10 times over to prevent Prabhupada from being poisoned. But I had no idea he was being poisoned. They kept it a secret. And people come up and say, well, what about that the July 9th? Why didn't anybody at the July 9th meeting expose that Prabhupada was being poisoned? I said, well, simple reason is they were the poisoners. How are you going to expose? Everybody was being a good devotee back in the temple, going on Sankirtan, distributing books, doing deity worship, cooking prasadam, distributing prasadam. Everybody was being a nice, bright-faced devotee. And when some of these scandals were coming down, Prabhupada was standing in his room, and some devotees next to him, and the Sankirtan party was coming back from the street. They were completely in bliss, playing mridangas, smiling. They looked like glowing. And Prabhupada said, they should not know what is going on. They're happy. They're blissful. They're getting the benefit of Krishna consciousness. That there is a sinister movement in our society should not be revealed to them. So Prabhupada took it, just like Jesus took being crucified. He accepted the crucifixion of his sinister movement disciples.
So that's the real point of this whole Ishtagoshti, Prabhu. That Prabhupada was the next Jesus, like for Krishna consciousness, and he took that crucifixion. He knew this everything. You can hear this from his last lectures or his Vani. He said it openly. He's not said it openly, but indirectly he has said it, and he accepted it just because to spread Krishna consciousness. And
I know what you mean. He said it openly, but he didn't say it openly. He said it out loud, but nobody knew what he was talking about.
Exactly.
Hey guys, we have 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, Mataji.
Rupa, what happened? You were full blast on the screen, and now you're gone. Why?
Oh, I'll put it back on.
Yes.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Jai. Hari Bol, Rupa Manjari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
So we have 2 minutes.
I've seen her after a long time, bro. Hari Bol, Jai, on camera. Hari Bol.
So, and what is Vinayak up to? Is he still on?
Vinayak is there. I guess he's in his workplace or something, bro. So,
Okay, does he want to say anything?
Hari Bol, Vinayak Prabhu. Mahaprabhu is also there. Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Hari Bol.
Jai, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Good night, everybody. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Rupa, for hosting.
You're welcome.
That was great. I appreciate that so much.
She'll be hosting tomorrow night as well. But if possible, everyone should come on earlier, 8 o'clock California time, because we were sitting there wondering whether we should go on or not. But then everybody came back on, and that was wonderful.
Always go on.
Jai, thank you very much, Rupa Manjari, for hosting. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Excellent orator, excellent host. Everything is excellent for her. No? Hari Bol, Jai.
So where's the Naik? Is he wants to say anything? We got 2 seconds.
Vinayak Prabhu.
Good night. Arrivederci.
All right. Hari Bol. Good night.
Vinayak, we want you to be more prominent in the conversation. And I have to be accept that I'm very guilty of talking a lot. So I'd rather hear you talk than me talk. Why? I've heard myself talk before, but I'd like to hear you talk.
Jai.
Because you're pursuing so many good ideas.
Good night.
Good night.
Good day to you.
Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow night earlier. Okay.
Hari Bol, Jai.